If you guys still are on the fence about buying a $99 welder, well, all you have to do is subscribe and leave a comment below, and I'll be pulling a name out of the hat at the end of the month. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a video on the cheapest welder that you can get on Amazon. This is an Azuno MiG 130. It costed $99. I'm going to see how it runs today. And if it runs decent, I'm going to give it away. And all it's going to cost you is a subscription and a comment. And really all that is so I have a way to pick a name out of a hat. So let's pull this thing out of the box, and here it is. You can't really complain about the quality or what your opinion is about this MIG lead because it's a $99 welder. It is a really short lead, but the upside of that is that this thing is really light. So you don't need a really long lead because it's really easy to pack the welder right with you. Let's power it on. It turns on. There's one win. This probably got 1 pound of wire, half a kilogram, 1.1 pounds of wire. Push and go, I got you. So that's a weird knob. It doesn't thread off of there. It's like a push and a quarter turn. But that's fine. So let's load our wire on the spool here. It doesn't have a peg like a lot of other welders. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll see if this thing holds tension and it doesn't want a rat nest. Push on, quarter turn, boom, it's set. All right, well, that's different, but that'll work. Now we pull the trigger and see if the drive motor works. And it does, it's just very slow. So we're still feeding wire. So what it's got is what's going on here is it feeds slow, so the wire comes out slow, so you don't get a lot of pushback when you start your arc. That's a good thing. It's kind of neat. So one thing I have noticed is usually, like 99 times out of 100, these welders have kind of guidelines on the inside of the lid for how much voltage, how much wire speed. Well, this machine doesn't have that as well. It doesn't really have numbers or letters like a lot of welding machines have on the front, so you kind of can keep track of where you're at. It's just got notches. That's going to be a downside to this. You're going to have to dial in the machine, maybe take a marker and mark where you prefer to weld with this thing, if it welds good, and if it's worth having. So we've established the welder turns on, the welder feeds wire. The welder has a slow start delay. That's a great upside. It does not have guidelines for setting your machine for what material thicknesses and whatnot you're going to be welding. But that's good enough. Again, $99 welder. So what I did here is I've got just a whole bunch of stuff here to represent the kind of things a guy that's going to spend $99 and probably weld twice in his life, the kind of materials that guy's going to use. So I've got maybe some like 16th wall square tube or rectangular tubing. I grabbed some heavier plate, like 3/16 and 1/4 inch plate, and then likely the most common use for this is going to be like an exhaust pipe. So anyways, I'm going to quit talking and we're going to get to seeing what this machine does. Well, you saw me tacking up a bunch of things. Try to get some examples going here. Maybe I'll tack up a few more just for the heck of it. You'll notice I've tacked up all this stuff and I haven't adjusted the machine at all. It actually seems to be running just fine as far as tack welding and all this material goes. I'm going to start with a little bit of a thinner piece, like this 16th wall rectangular tubing, and we're gonna see how this thing runs. Well, that gets all the heat. Got plenty power for that. So we're gonna turn this guy down some and flip him over and try again. That actually runs really smooth. Well, that ran really well. I'm just gonna keep going on it. We'll talk about it more when we get done. I'm gonna run this exhaust pipe a little less than half power, a little less than half wire. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna say this thing's running pretty well. I'm just gonna keep on welding. I'm gonna show you the results when we get done. But so far, for $100, we're melting metal together. It's not that it's the greatest welder ever, but I'm impressed that a $99 welder welds. But now, what we wanna know, and everybody will eventually end up doing, is seeing how much power it really has. Now, we're gonna get into the thicker stuff. We've got some, well, I think this is 3/16 plate. I have no idea where to set this machine, but I know where I'm gonna set it. All the way wide open, because I'm guaranteeing that's what we're gonna want here. And then for the wire speed, probably just gonna go wide open. We're gonna be right at the top of what this thing's capable of doing. Let's see what it's got. Well, and there we go, on some 3/16 plate. That actually ran really nice and plenty power. See the discoloration through the back. Well, the verdict is in on the cheapest welder on Amazon. I'm gonna say it's not the best welder in the world, but will you stick metal together for $100? You definitely will. We'll show you a little bit of what we did here. That looks pretty nice, that'll work. There's some thick plate there, and the machine had no problem running that. There's some exhaust pipe, like a lot of people that buy this machine are probably gonna do. And then there's some more thick metal, and then some little artsy stuff. When you're running inner shield wire, it is not that clean. But again, I don't want to pick this machine apart for what the wire is or whatever. For $99, you are welding. And I would say you're not wasting your money on this little guy. This is not an advertisement for Azuno or for anything, but I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are curious about welding, want to weld, but welders are a big financial commitment. And there's a lot of options out there these days for very inexpensive welders. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Hopefully it helped you with making a decision if spending $99 on a welder is worth the money. And I'm here to tell you that this welder for $99, it'll get you welding, and it'll get you welding real affordable. If you guys still are on the fence about buying a $99 welder, well, all you have to do is subscribe and leave a comment below, and I'll be pulling a name out of the hat at the end of the month. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you.